started late today because we got the same way precedent was due, and we want to sit and read again.
All right. We want to welcome, taking you to Zulu Whiskey. How tensions is in that, but in the midst of that, we hope that the authorities are doing everything possibly they can. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners. Hopefully, Representative Ellis Chesia Graham will be joining me right here shortly. To get the latest from Zulu Whiskey, that is Grand Jita County, the provincial city of Zwedru. Okay, folks, just bear with me. Trying to make connection. Okay, good evening and welcome to this evening broadcast, Lpr-Tv special to all our viewers and listeners in Radio Land. We want to welcome you, my man Ellis Chair right here, Roberta Davis, Vivian Hensford, Bob Culture. You say culture lives on, yet, and of course, Musa, our own man, Bill Carson, everybody in search of prevalent information, news happening inside Liberia, out of the country as well. I'm hoping that Representative Ellis Chesia Grant of Grangeda County will be joining me here. Of course, LPR senior contributors and analysts is hopefully Amos George is backstage. Mr. Harrison Momosedi. It's a prominent Grangidian based in the base state of Massachusetts. We are now hearing is eyeing the district number 3 to representation, representative post for 2023. Will potentially be adding his voice right here. But a lot of news happening, so let's take you as usual to bring you here. And of course, the bombshell relief from the embassy near the capital of Monrovia, that is the United States Embassy. Is the door gradually closing in, or is it getting to the Waterloo of warlord Prince Yomi Johnson and others? The clock seems to be eating away. I am Alfonso so right here at the Liberia Public Radio. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners. Do us a favor. I'm not sure why Facebook sanctioned us inability to share the podcast with people. So just tell your face, hit the share button, and invite somebody at your company. I'm hoping that a representative is going to be joining us here. Let's start the talking point right now. Okay, as usual, to keep the news proportionate and bring you up to speed, some of the happenings across Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Let's take a rendezvous here. According to major news outlet Al Jazeera, France 24. Okay, let's see here. I believe a representative is here, so let me just grab him here. Hopefully, I can get his image, and then we'll be able to bring him on. Unfortunately, I can't see that. I hope I somewhat see that. I will get him in the meantime. Okay, there we go. The representative is set from the nation's capital of the Republic of Liberia, Monrovia. I'm not sure what is in. What is Zulu Whiskey right now that I can't confirm, but when he comes on, he will tell us. But I want to be, I'm thankful. He's always answer our calls in good and bad times. Let me welcome the Honorable Ellis Chesia Grant. He's the representative district number 3, Grangeda County, Republic of Liberia, and also a member of the ruling establishment. Let's get the ball rolling, guys. The time is quite... Okay, from the New England Bureau to the nation's capital of the Republic of Liberia, Monrovia. Here we go. Let's bring in Honorable Ellis Chesia Grant, is District Number 3 representative, Grangeda County, Republic of Liberia. Honorable Grant, good evening and welcome.
Good evening to LPR, linked to Liberians and the great Grangeda County in the diaspora and the Boston district. My lovely people.
Okay.
Yes, my uncle.
So, are you in Grangeda right now, or are you in Monrovia?
I am Monrovia, and I am alive, strong.
Is it possible? What's going on with the audio there? I'm getting some echo. Are you listening to something there or not?
Okay, I think I know why.
Yeah, okay. Let me give you a chance to fix it, Honorable, because you're
No,
honorable, so I can. There's no way. I don't have the authority to hold you in contempt, but you can.
no problem. I think it's good
Yeah.
now.
Okay. Is it much better?
I should ask you if it is much better.
Yeah. I think a little bit. Hopefully, we're going to get there. Okay. I want to say thank you very much for honoring our invitation. In fact, when we reached out to your office yesterday, you were very spontaneous. If there's something that can get credit fixed, I think that's you're going to get a good credit from me because you never turned down a text message, phone call. Somehow you got to get back here. But that's not going to give you a free pass for us from the kind of conversation that we're going to be having here. Okay, thank you. You were very helpful to us yesterday. We were able to get some information available.
Yeah.
So here we go. I'm going to get straight to the issue. But before I do that, courtesy of some of our sister network, I'm going to put this footage out to get a sense, and then we'll come right back to the issue. Let's see here.
Detachment came in and hit the president for the motorcycle union, motor and tricycle union in the county. The other thing, he's dead. I said he's in a serious critical condition. So while making aware at the matter judgment, we were denied access for entering to see his condition, whether he is alive or not. So we left. Again, we tried making our way at the correction palace where the officer is.
Okay, we left and made our way. I'm trying to set the basis of the conversation here so you will see as well some of the things that were happening. So let's go back to this one here, which also caught my attention, and hopefully we can have a conversation here. I just want you to just bear with me a little bit, and let's see here. Okay, let's go here. Just bear with us of cell phone video coverage.
So that was the first consensus. To the man who.
Okay, that's attention there. The reporter there calling Bakuba station. Okay, Honorable Grant, I know you have seen some of this thing here. Thank you for coming here. What's the latest from Zulu Whiskey, Zwedru?
Thank you so much. As far as I'm concerned, the situation has subsided. The looting has subsided. The rampage of the streets of Zwedru have substantially subsided. I follow up with the local authority from time to time, even in security chat group. I am on touch with the team. The situation is, yesterday was so devastating, so predictable. They weren't happy about when they forget, and that has changed the situation. Tremendously.
Okay, I don't know what are your audio, folks that are listening. Please do a favor. I want to make sure you hear the honorable as well, so that it can be like a little ear click, and then the raw news go. If the honorable is audible, please let us know. They are our audience. Please let us know it is you that we are sitting down here. I am being joined by LPR senior analyst based in Atlanta, Georgia, Amos George, and the most liberal progressive on this network. He's from Toad Town. He's an engineer. He's a talk show host, but we don't get along because of his idea. Please bear with me, Honorable Grant. Samson Branto is here again tonight. The Liberal, welcome.
Thank you, and welcome, Honorable. Appreciate to have you again tonight. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. It's been long. I've been trying to get to several your phone range. You don't.
You see, I always told him that he doesn't pick up mine, but let's let that go because we don't want. I don't want to waste my time on that. So this is what has happened. Couple of weeks or maybe month ago, we saw something in Maryland happen. Now it's Zwedru. I don't know what is becoming like a pattern from one county to county, cross pollinations, cross carpying to other place. Why this incident, Honorable? What are you hearing from the local authorities? Why this incident wasn't avoided? Why?
Well, from what I learned, this situation occurred in Zwedru yesterday was
so I'm hearing James W say the audio is not clear. So I don't know what's the situation. Yeah, because I mean this is a very important conversation. Your mic is muted. Let me see. You want to check? It don't usually be like that. I don't know. We're not hearing you. Your mic is muted. Hello? You got to unmute your mic. Your microphone is muted. Do you, if the line is having problems, it is clear for me. All right, you're confusing you now. You'll say, I am clear. I'm quite sure I am clear, but the Honorable, your mic is muted. You want me to get you off and see what I think, let me just get him off and see whether he can come back. Okay. All right, let me get him off and come back. Okay, the Liberal Progressive. Pa George.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Toto. Welcome. Hopefully, he will join us. If not, then maybe we're going to route it through the phone. Samson, you get a mic muted too?
Why would my mic be muted?
That's why you just did.
You just tell me the thing on, and we're looking at this is live TV. You just turning the thing on.
But it's not muted. The fact that it's lower, it doesn't mean it's muted.
No, once you are not audible, that's it. You see, this is the problem with these liberals and these people always, want to be on. Okay, let's start here. You are seeing these images coming from your own county, Grand Jide. What happens yesterday? Today I was working the phone lines, talked to a lot of people, Ray and Cooper, and other prominent people in there. In fact, the superintendent was seen in the time. I'm not sure whether he's back when the representative come. I will be asking here, but what's going through your mind, Samson?
Mr. So, I'm sorry the Honorable is not with us right now. Hopefully, he will be back here very shortly. But these are some of the things that when we try to talk about people who have no clue, no insight, and try to condemn us and say that perhaps we're not speaking in the interest of our people. I am from Grand Jide. I'm very proud to be a Grand Jidean. There's no question asked. And secondly, no man from Grand Jide is more Grand Jidean than I am. I can defy anybody. However, Mr. So, these things don't happen in vacuum. These things don't happen in isolation. The incident, according to some lawyer that I talked to, who is heavily involved in Grand Jide County law practices and what have you, I spoke with him and I asked him what happened. His information was that the magistrate who was responsible for this.
Let's see here. Hold on one second. Honorable, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now you see. Chisiache, now you the real Chisi now because you okay, let's get the ball rolling here. Mr. To, I'm going to be coming back to him, but let's just hear him. Okay, oh my goodness, their house seems to be full here. Joining us from near the capital of Washington, D.C. He's here. He's the professor, a diplomatic professor. Professor Asese Labozawlo is a senior contributor of the Liberia Public Radio. What a crowded house delegation in town. We have no idea, no clue. Maybe the professor will tell us here as the night progresses. Okay, let me go back. Professor, good evening and welcome. Honorable, yeah, what should have been done to avoid this sort of situations that have happened? The police station where records of criminals or alleged criminals, people who has committed offenses against the state, against people, should be prosecuted. I don't know the condition of it right now. Documents, I assume documents are there that security apparatus, security personnel will come on for potential court action, all gone. Why was this this wasn't avoided? Any explanation so far?
From the intel I'm getting, this never predicted. This situation predicted by any of the security apparatuses in the county. In fact, tomorrow should be in the county security council meeting. The situation was never predicted. No sense of that was leaked out. I think much was like a spontaneous action that generated so wildly. Then it treats Zwedru. However, it was limited to St. Zwedru in parts because in other communities we don't hear, but it was focused mainly in the commercial enclave Zwedru. But there's those streets and around City Hall community, yes, that in that particular place. So to an extent, one could say it was the premeditated, and then just spoiled off the. Spoiled just like that, because this situation happened like a month ago when this Ralim or businessman encountered one of the correction palace work, and there was some kind of wounds got employee from the correction.
So, Mr. Honorable,
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether the audio doing all good. I'm getting a feedback here. Guys, are you getting him well? Professor, Mr. Todd, George, and our audience, is the Honorable well audible to you guys?
No, not from my end.
Oh. So I'm thinking of us having a second game plan. Do you want us to call you to deregulate and maybe ignore the video or what? And I'm quite sure I love you being on the video so that we see you, but I don't know why the audio.
Mr. So, can you have the honorable have a video just as it is, but mute that mic and then call the other phone? Perhaps he can speak into that phone, and then that would be his video can be on at the same time speaking to you.
Oh, yeah. All right. There you go. The engineer. I like his idea, but other than that, other thing that we should agree. So I saw Honorable mute that. Let me see, and I'm gonna call you on the side, and then we can, or maybe I could do it from this end here. Let me see here. Okay, let me just call on the side here, hopefully. All right, folks, just bear with us. We want to do it.
But you're gonna have to call his other phone, not the same phone that he's using.
Yeah, you just put on the speaker. Yeah, you don't need to hold that. You just your mic is muted already. Just put the phone on speaker and put it before you. We'll hear you.
Yeah, just put the phone down.
It will still be fine. And the video just stay. I already muted the video. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Are you getting me?
Yeah, much better. All right. Okay. So yeah, okay, yeah, this is much better. The video can stay there. The video audio is there. You see, the total man get plenty of sense. I'll leave this one. I'm gonna give it to him. I didn't talk. So yeah, oh my goodness! Don't tell me that.
He has to mute.
You want to mute your audio on that side too? Okay.
Are you just mute your video.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I think I'm not getting echo. So there are a lot of reports that we are getting, and you are actually on ground in Morovia. You are official. You're monitoring news. We learned all these things started with a young man being brutally beaten and subsequently died from this by this Fulani, whether he's a Liberian, but by this Fulani. I think that was the antecedents of this whole thing here. So did the authority do anything possibly they can to get hand on deck on this situation before it got to this point,
Well, the situation happened like a month ago. The police processed this case to the court. When this case was processed to the court, According to the story, the Fura guy was charged with aggravated assault. And when he was charged with aggravated assault and they got to the court, the people had to, the people put in for bail, his lawyers put in for bail because according to them, it's a bailable crime. So he was bailed out and went back to his business. And this guy was undergoing treatment. So after some time, the sickness degenerated and he was taken to the hospital and died. And when he died, the citizen got aggravated and they said, look, we have to go to this guy to get him ourselves. So when they went and attacked him in his business place, he and his family, the police went to the rescue and took them to the police station. When they took them to the police station, there were some student exercises. While they were there, the motorcyclist, newly elected chairperson, I just forgot his name.
Johnson. Mm-hmm. One Johnson.
Well, yes. All right. So maybe we can pay for the name later, but according to them, why he was trying to quiet the motorcyclists, because generally the guys who went on the rampage of motorcyclists, the police car came and hit him when the straw hit him, he fell, and everyone thought he died. And that's how the whole situation blew up. But the police managed to escape with a full man and his family to unknown destination, and that aggravated the crowd more. They decided to attack the police station, stoning it, and then they set it ablaze.
So
that's what really happened. So police got overwhelmed by the protesters until the military people had to come in to save the situation. But they were looting, massive looting of the shops, the stores, the motorbikes, looting of offices, their computers, dispossessing people of their belongings. So the military came in and quiet the situation. So by today, there was action of the police and the military people going around, arresting some of those motorbikes that were stolen yesterday. And the motorcyclists again were trying to regroup. There was some sporadic shooting today to prevent them from regrouping in Zwedru, actually. They have begun to arrest major perpetrators, and they were seeing also those that were in possessions of the looted materials. And that was why, that is what had been happening today in Zwedru. They are trying to retrieve some of the stolen materials. Later on, when police were even going to check some places, the motorcyclists again were trying to chase the police. However, like I said, the sporadic shooting had dispersed them.
Yeah.
Up to the time I'm talking to you right now. So that's the kind of thing that is happening in Sweden, and that's happening for the period we are discussing now.
Okay. Yeah, the issue of the sporadic shooting, early this morning, I was online with folks from Zwedru, and they said, well, the rain came down, like, bro, man, every other thing they don't refer to it, only rain, so the rain helped to quiet that thing. Okay, my folks, my guys, analysts, contributor, Mr. Todd, Pa George, Professor Zavlo, they are all here, gentlemen. That's it. Before I go over to some of the panelists here, how many fatalities so far in this whole episode as of yesterday? As far as you are concerned, personnel, people told you, how many fatalities so far?
As far as I'm concerned, only the guy from the press compound that has been reported dead. We are encouraging the report to the court to get the fuller man speaking to the court with his lawyers. Otherwise, I haven't heard of any other fatality. Fatality.
Well, is that so? Are you saying because yesterday we announced here of 3? So are you saying? 2? Are you saying it's only one person, one dead? No.
There's only one person, the leader of the motorcycle who got hit by this, quote unquote, the car is recovering now. He's at the Manitoba Memorial Hospital. The doctor said that he's in a stable condition, or that is mean that they want to do more examination to establish if he has any fracture in his body or whatsoever thing that probably that is happening, they don't know. So from the follow examinations, we will be able to know what really is obtaining with him health-wise. But otherwise, only one death.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're good.
So far. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, the liberal progressive professor, Pa George.
No, I just want to
You
throw some jab of some of the people. Honorable, all those book behind you, that what a book doing behind you? I tell you, people say you don't know book again. All that book behind you.
Oh my God, this guy.
Thank you, Honorable. Mr. So, the Honorable here, we have here to have fun. Thank you. No, on a very serious note, Honorable, you guys keep making reference to Fuller. Is the Fuller man a Liberian, or he just a resident alien who is not a Liberian having to be a Fuller, or is he a Liberian who also having to be Fuller?
Details are not available to me. I don't want to preempt anything.
Well, the question that maybe the liberal progressive to be asking, is there another way we could be identifying that man? Then it just sounds a little bit not too good. To reference him as a Fuller man.
So, what should we say?
Let me say this. When this man was taken to the police station, honorable representative, I don't know whether you are inquiring this. Because normally when you take to the police station, when you are booked, all the questions will be asked. Whether you are Liberian by birth or by naturalization, the police should have this information. So have you contacted police, or anybody have contacted police to know actually whether this man is a natural Liberian or ordinary alien? Because that record should be with the police. So did anybody do any inquiry in that? Because during the booking section, those are information supposed to be obtained by the police to know this man's actual identity. Did anybody give any information of that light?
No one gave me information on that light, and I didn't go after it. The fact that remained that I know him to be a resident of Zwedru. That's the only detail available to me. But I didn't go deep to find out, is he a Liberian? Is he a resident alien? What is the age? Is he married? How many kids do you have? All the details.
But let me ask you this, Honorable. I know Zwedru is not part of your district, but you are a Grangian, so Zwedru is, as far as I'm concerned, belong to all of us. What is the relationship between the Fuller community and that of Liberians, Grangians, or whatever? What is the relationship among them before this incident? And the reason I'm asking this is this, and perhaps you're young to understand or to be able to remember that back in the early 70s, there was a man that was killed right there in Center Street by Lebanese because they said the guy stole candy, and I remember they used umbrella to take the candy from his throat, and they killed him. So the community, the Lebanese community and the Liberian at the time, the relationship was not as strong as it is now, I would say. And in fact, I also witnessed another young man, Bassa man, got killed right in front of the hotel on Clear Street, I think, Hotel Holiday Inn. And when it was newly built, Holiday Inn at the time, I think was like maybe a year or so. And the manager had money, and this guy came and snatched the money. He ran after him and shot him. So the relationship at the time between the Lebanese and the Liberian, as far as I was concerned, was not as great. So I'm wondering, what was the relationship between the Fuller community and the Granadians, Liberians in the Granada Zwedru environment?
Well, thank you so much. Far as I know, and from several visits to Zwedru, they have had a cordial relationship, from what I know, because these people have been in Zwedru for. In fact, some of them are even taking on to constructing their private home, real estates for themselves and their families. So I think if they had this sour relationship, people wouldn't be interested in buying real estate properties. I mean, like the Fullers, but their own properties too, and constructing beautiful homes. So from that, in my own judgment, I think it's cordial until yesterday when the situation sparked up again. We also have to be careful. This is not a generalized situation. It's not a generalized behavior of the Fullers towards our people, and our people too are now being in this kind of way responsive to the Fuller people. So this situation, I think, is an isolated case.
So if you say it's isolated, if you say, let me ask my one last question, please, guys. If you say this is an isolated situation, was this brutal when he was brutalized, according to the story? When whatever the Fuller man did to this young man, and that caused him to be demised, now he's gone. That type of information was never brought to any of you as the representatives of Grand Judah representative. What is your district or not? You never heard of the incident before as a representative or someone who was one of the leader of the community, Grand Judah community. You never heard of the incident before?
This did not come to any of us our attention. And in fact, it was one thing that was raised in the Security Council chat room this morning. Why did the security and the police people conceal this, and it was not reported into the Security Council meeting for discussion? Because it had very serious potential of causing this kind of situation that we have today. That was one of the concerns that were raised this morning in the chat room. Why did they conceal it? Why was not reported?
Because honorable, let me push back a little bit. Honorable, if you don't mind, let me
for close to a month now.
Let me push back a little bit on that. If you can hear me, let me.
Yeah. So
about on that. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Know that we are switching between the video audio and the phone audio. So he's answering it, mean you will be quiet. But go ahead now. Something you go ahead.
So what I want to find out from you, Honorable, Zwedru is not like Monrovia. I mean, Zwedru, pretty much everyone know who everyone else is Zwedru. You guys telling us that this young man was brutalized in a community of Zwedru, and to the point of ended up in a hospital, and that kinds of information did not come across any of you guys' desk at all.
I had no reason to lie in this. I only got to know about this yesterday. In fact, my first instant was I thought it happened just like that, and it was continuously reacted until details started coming out. So I had no information about it.
Yeah. Look, okay. I think this one here, let me maybe go off the radar here. I think what the reason we're having the honorable here for us to get to the bottom line. People, somebody got flogged, somebody did something in representative leaving from the capital to go in the county. That's why we have local authorities. Our concern here now, what next? Because the honorable said that it should have been reported. That did not happen. So it means someone kicked the can down the road. Somebody conceived. Somebody did not do their due diligence. And what is important now is to get to the bottom line of this whole case here to make sure that it doesn't happen. And even people who did that, they must be held accountable. Honorable? Yeah. And this is the issue. Yeah. And this is the frustration of many other Liberians, including myself. The inconclusive investigation, lack of detail. We can't get end result. Investigation over investigation, investigation over investigation. I don't know what's going to be the outcome. And if at the end of the day, based on what I'm hearing from you, people should have done their due diligence. It should have been brought to the attention of the Security Council, like you rightfully said. And I agree with that. So probably there will be more intervention. That did not happen. Will we get to know the bottom line as to why it didn't happen and that somebody will be held accountable? Or we're just going to talk about it in the next 1 week and that's the end of it?
In fact, that's why now I spoke to the myself today. He's currently on his from information I got from him. He left Monroe today. He's going to the county. Now we're studying. And people who demonstrating yesterday, some have been arrested, so that we have intensive probe into this whole situation. Because from what we heard, it was already transmitted to the court. All right, it was transmitted to the court when this incident occurred. So our prayer now and then our ask now is to ensure that the detailed investigation is conducted and then action taken. So it will happen. In taking decision, the legal process is a little bit tiring and slow, but we will get to the end of it.
Okay.
I have
Professor? Yeah, George, go ahead.
I want to ask the Honorable, has there been any autopsy done to determine the cause of the death of this young man, to indicate whether it was led to that beating, or did he have any other underlying factor that contributed to his death? I want to know that. Then secondly, we have seen the same music playing out in different areas. Similar the death, a killing in Maryland happened. The police station of Ramsada and Bryan. Bryan, you said this was after the incident, nobody expected it. But the fact remains that somebody died again. And this man, the case, according to you, has gone to the court. We don't know the legal process. It dragged on there. He ended up dying. The same similar thing happened again in Grand Gita. What I want to know from you, the second question is, do you people have the manpower to amend it? Do you people have the manpower to sufficiently patrol or protect the city and the county? And secondly, when this thing happened, because the commander of the county worked along with the superintendent of the county, when such an incident happened, I believe the superintendent will be informed and the authority of the police will be informed. Moreover, normally that will go to the senior inspector of police, then down to the director, whatever. But the question I want to ask, this question I'm asking you, did you talk to the superintendent that he was aware of this situation?
Yes.
Yeah, let me start by answering that question. Yes, because the situation, the thing happened and was sent to court, which of course is the rightful procedure. The death is what followed, but the situation has been sent to court for prosecution. So definitely, once the case is in court, we are not supposed to intervene into it again. We can be prejudices if you just went and then getting involved with case in the court. That's the right proper channel that was used, arrest the situation, send it to court for prosecution. And then at the same time, this guy was sick. They had to bill out the floor man when he was billed on his own bill to be there until the court term is ready. When this guy is still sick, he couldn't be sick and go into court. So legally, that's why they granted that time and granted him the bill that when this guy recovers, so they'll go into the case. And your question was that when autopsy has been done, autopsy has not been done to establish what his death, whether it was the stabbing that happened like a month ago or other things have attended the situation and resulted to what it is. So we don't want to break it. We want to give the judicial process a chance before we can say or pronounce the actual cause of death. Anything short of that will be full of emotions and somehow prejudice. So let's give the judicial system a chance to proceed with the process.
Okay.
Yeah, the follow-up question that you didn't answer, I said, do the police in Grand Gita, do they have the manpower, logistics to protect that county and the city?
With manpower and logistics are actually the shortcomings of the, in fact, police manpower nationwide is diminished. And logistics is another shortcoming that we are working on aggressively as a government to ensure that police service is well expanded. This is an open engagement.
Okay. Oh, Honorable, you kind of a little bit turning me off here. We are working on. And you not get on a sloped ground here. And I'm going to take a holistic approach in this one here, Honorable Grant. Thank you for coming here. I don't mean to sound very terrible here. But this is what we've been hearing from time to time. The lawmakers, you guys are the one responsible for appropriation. And we have the Liberian National Police funding less than $1 million. We saw what happened there. So are you guys going to go back in your closet? And is it fair to say that the Honorable House of Representatives or the Parliament as a whole, both houses, you guys are the contributing factor too, because it's bad for the police? And I'm sure the professor know what I'm coming from, because they are not equipped. That's what got them to run away, because that group, it was a complete mop. Those guys, I saw the other police guy on the bike, they talk, I don't know what becomes of him. It's because you guys, the 103 men and women, both House and Senate, you guys, you are unable all the years to equip, to make the police much stronger, to come back around. This is serious, Honorable. Are you guys responsible for this as well?
It's easy. Sometimes it's easy to make those comments, but if this picture actually unfold itself probably to you, then you will see clearly why things are happening that way. This is a country we are running. And imagine you have a country in the 21st century with 600 million budget. You gotta be kidding. So we do our best.
Honorable Grant.
So it's a reality.
Honorable Grant.
Representative Grant.
Reality. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here.
Yeah.
It has to do with the government providing services. This is reality that we have to face.
Okay.
And so grateful that in fact the citizen, yes, sometimes temperance for just flare, but really we are working and using the social policing style where we work with the society to help to keep peace. It is working effectively. Sometimes people get aggravated and they respond to situation in that manner. Look, in the entire Boston district where I represent, we don't even have up to 15 policemen, but there is peace. So the strategy we are using to maintain peace, it's working with the people to be their own security. That's why we have this community policing strategy in place, just to ensure that we live in peace and harmony. I know you may not agree.
Yes.
Doing our best to maintain peace.
Okay, so Honorable here, look, here it is inexcusable, and I'm not just only frowning at you. I'm frowning on all of these men and women who are senators, who are representatives, who just can't sit at a table, for God's sake, whether you're a sedition or your Liberty Party person, because we came from a terrible journey. And you know, I know demobilization is one of the challenges that we are faced with. We see how the young people are being behaving. Those people used to arm. And so that's the only language. And unfortunately, you guys, the rest of 72, you have just not been able to address, knowing fully well and say community police. Yeah, we are. The police station is being burned down. We saw that happening. It also put the very uniformed men at risk. Is the lawmakers, are you guys aware because of your action is putting these the law enforcement at risk, because they can't just continue it? And I'm not going to say that, and that's how they have to retreat. How's that?
But Mr. Tola, let me just add up to what you said. This
Okay.
pattern.
Thank you. I like that. Pa George is flipping up there.
Yeah, this pattern is the attitude of the government. Kakatan, I think last year or year before last, the police station was burned up to where out there. So this is not a strange to the government. They take money and redirect money to something that is not paramount to the interest of the Liberian people. Foremost, the security of a Liberian is primary to anything. The security, it is what the government receive, all the resources. And if, because you said the people are peaceful, so therefore you cannot provide or you cannot amend the strength of security, that is not an excuse, because you cannot determine anybody's behavior. If there was enough policemen that require somebody to sit down, but
let me go to him. Let him respond.
From Maigibi to Kepamos to Zwedru, Nima County, the government is not utilizing the little fund they have to put into security to protect the people. Instead, it's wasted on other issues that is not important.
Okay, so, let him respond, Professor. Then I will come to you. Okay, let him just respond. Yeah. Okay, honorable respond. Then I will go to the professor.
I only beg to differ with the prof to say we are using money for things that are not. I don't know what is not relevant in this country. If maybe providing electricity to the streets of Monrovia is not important, I don't understand that. I think that is also a form of security for the people, where people have to travel on lights. Since the 70s, we are not able to see lights in the streets today. We see the.
What 70 are you talking about, Professor? I mean, that's not true.
Itself, you see those places are being brightened today. Places, communities that never used to have water, if supplying water to communities that never have water, is thing that is not important for Liberian people. I don't know. Just yes, he made a statement, but you an example probably to my attention to say, look,
what is the budget of the first lady?
And it's not necessary.
What is the budget of the first lady?
Put this money into security, but every cent that is being spent by this government is something that is useful for the lives of the people. I know from the establishment of Liberia, electricity have never been in the streets of Bapolu. If putting electricity in Bapolu is not relevant, I can say. If putting electricity in Grand Creek County unnecessary, well, he is there to make that judgment. But I cannot say we are not investing into security. We are investing into security, and this government is committed to keeping the peace and stability of this country. This, with peace, security, our people potential can be explored further.
Mr. Toll, let me just be
okay.
Mr. Toll, hold on one point. Honorable said in 1970 that have been no light in Liberia. I don't know. In Zwedru, I was in Zwedru in the 80s. There were lights. There was street lights in Zwedru. Street lights in the 80s. There was street lights in Zwedru. So that is not factual. To say 1970s, that's not factual. Monrovia had lights. Maybe Mr. Toll can attest to that. Monrovia had lights.
Okay. Pajoy, hold on 1 second. Pajoy.
No, I just want to make that correction. That is not factual. The first day of it got $2.7 million, and you get less than $1 million to total security.
Yeah, okay. I just want you to understand we're switching between other. I don't want you guys to hear us because one was switching. If he's on, he will not hear you. But let me come to the professor here. Professor, I want to ask a question. Professor, are you there?
Yeah. I didn't want to. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Before you do that, let me ask question over question, because I don't know whether you're going to side with the representative. That's your government, which of course it won't be strange. But hey, the representative went through a huge list of laundry. Come on, it's the security apparatus. You had an experience the other day in your own institution. Do you think the security apparatus, do you think it's been real funded? Do you think they have been given the power in order to have this sort of police this system? I don't want us to go to Helen Johnson's leave time. I want to see where we are now. Go ahead.
I think the representative clearly answered that part. He said fundings and logistics remain challenges that this government and every government in the history of Liberia has had to confront
there you go.
when it comes to meeting the security needs of our country. But let me just disavow and dismissed the myth that security of a nation can be measured only by having a militarized police.
Professor,
having a huge number of the police officers. The strength, the security of a nation is built in the attending to the social economic well-being of the citizens.
Professor Zawlo.
And let me be frank with you. You live in the United States. You don't see a militarized police around here.
What are you talking about, Professor?
We live in the United States. You don't see a military police around.
Why
you
you
see the police
say?
what are you talking about, Professor?
Joy, hold on 1 second. Let our audience and the professor with the representative will respond.
But Josh, you know where we live. You know, for me, in my neighborhood, I don't remember when was the last time I saw a police coming anywhere near my house. Yet, people observe. No, I'll be frank with you. People observe the peace. It's what's happening in the schools. We're educating the children in the United States here on the respect for the rule of law. You see, when citizens go out and set ablaze government institutions, I don't even know what size of security forces would have prevented them from doing such a thing. I don't know what size. So if you're talking about one police to one citizen, when we engage in such a mob action, I think it's our responsibility to condemn it first of all.
Of course, that is clear. But when you say militarize, what are you talking about?
That's the kind of security forces Mr. George is talking about.
Professor, you are
talking about one police officer. From what I'm saying, your suggestion is here one police officer to one citizen to a citizen.
No, that's not what I said.
No, you're not running like a Gestapo state.
Okay, gentlemen, hold on right there. Let us do it. We have an obligation to our audience here. Okay, so let me go back to the representative. We're going to come, but George will respond. The Liberal is quiet. I'm not sure whether the conversation is in your favor. So, Honorable Grant.
Yeah.
You heard what the professor said. Is that a scenario that is involved? The government does not want to militarize police. This is why we have one police pickup. Now the pickup is Brian. I surmise that these police going to be working. They can't get on motorbike. There was sporadic shooting all over this morning. We saw that playing out in Maryland County, next neighbor county there. And we don't know what's going to be the outcome. We don't want it. That it was of violence. We condemn that. It was crazy. It was insane for them to go on the rampage, to start looting. It was wrong. They shouldn't have done that. They just killed it. But hey, this is what the professor is saying. Do you agree with me? Is that a militarized police to have? My guess will get less than 3,000 policemen and women in the republic.
And you want 1 million.
One county, one patrol car. I'm not sure. Do you have a patrol car in your district? Police patrol car in Boston district? Our district. And a police patrol car there?
Police patrol vehicle, yes.
How much?
One motorbike.
No, you
want what?
You expect to
motorbike?
Have one car per citizen.
Yeah, I mean, for flexibility,
you kidding me? That motorbike will go on a rescue mission, Honorable? Okay.
But that's why I said, the limitation we have, we use the community to protect them from force. Because it's not even possible to deploy all around. I mean, police all around. You and I know it for a fact. Okay, so it's better you work with the communities to provide security for themselves, for their own stability. If this is working effectively, if you have a system that is working, you don't need to disrupt it. If there's a need for police, say police, please come to like this letdown. There's a motorbike for the police. In total, there's a motorbike for the police. You know, so when we have a situation, they have a support from Zwedru, but those situations are not really.
So okay, so
and just watch. Of the situation that are only happening in Zwedru. They are not being a situation of riots or uncontrollable demonstration in any part of the country except for Zwedru.
Mr. So
here.
So the places that we don't have potential conflict situations, we have police concentration there like Zwedru. Zwedru never runs out of police. Zwedru never runs out of police mobile as well. So I think it's working. If our people can be their own, peacekeeper or police, it's better you have peace, and we have this kind of peace enjoying in other parts of the country.
Mr. So.
Wow. So, are you saying
Mr.
right now?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Look, let's be serious here. Chicken is coming home to roost. Simple as that. Uh, the honorable man and many of his colleagues came to this position to do what they thought was going to be better for Liberia. And not only that, but for their own community as well. However, the way things are turning out, I think the honorable man and many of his colleagues need to go back to the drawing board because it's not working. I'll give you an example. How can you be serious about security in a country? Senator Prince Johnson is now elected in the Senate to be the chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense and Security. Prince Johnson. And you don't think people are taking Liberia as a laughing stock? Prince Johnson is the only person that have the capability. Forget about the war crime and all the kinds of stuff. Forget about it. We have heard Prince Johnson over and over make some derogatory comment about the country, made some degrading comment about individuals in our country, including some leaders. And this is the man that you're going to put in the front of Liberian security to be the face of Liberian security. This is a man that is still arguing with his own colleagues about his shortcoming. And I'm going to be very, very gracious here to say shortcoming. And I know other people hear that and then start insulting me. You call Prince Johnson behavior shortcoming. Well, he's the representative. I have to be general. It's because of a shortcoming. People are still debating. And you're going to tell us while we're still debating, people are still crying about the war crime court. And you're going to have somebody who is against the war crime court to be the face of the security of Liberia. So, Honorable Grant, I mean, you guys are doing your best, and we appreciate it. Whatever happens, we're all in God's hand. All I ask, Honorable, is for you to continue to do your best to your ability, your God-given ability. As long as you continue to do that, you're supposed to be fine. Because you can't do it by yourself. I don't care how good you are. You can't do all by yourself.
All right. Yeah, professors, I thought I will go to the Honorable to respond. I know it's late inside Liberia now too, so we can go on our regular.
Yeah. I find the statement made by my friend and brother, the Liberal Progressive, to be unfortunate. As an individual, I never experienced a war in Liberia, but I understand atrocities were committed, and we do not support or condone any individual or any acts of atrocity that were committed against anybody in that country. I believe that those who are responsible for the atrocity at some point must pay the price. But that has to be done consistent with the laws of the Republic of Liberia. You know, democracy is a very, very good thing that people enjoy. It ensures stability and security in countries around the world where people can see that it's a peaceful transition. Well, democracy sometimes comes to bitter pills and must be able to swallow it. I'm not a supporter of Senator Prince Johnson. I do not condone what his excesses during the war. And I think if he for some of the things I heard he's done, I think there should be a time where he should be able to face the people on those actions. But the man was elected, just as Donald Trump was elected as president of the United States. He was elected by his people. His colleagues chose him to serve on a committee. Today, the United States government, I think, issued a statement. The U.S. Embassy, I think that statement was unfortunate. And some of us are actually going after them to seriously call on the ambassador to withdraw his statement. It's unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate. We don't condone what Senator Johnson did or he did not do, but to be bullying other countries. When you know that you're bullying people.
It's not boring.
You elected Donald Trump as a president.
Mr. George, let's have a one. Let's have a one. We're going to come to that. I just want us to dwell on this Zwedru thing, and then we're going to come to all.
I understand, but it's unfortunate for us to we all are praying for, we all are advocating for democracy in our country and around the world. When Donald Trump was elected, we were told to respect him because that was the will of the American people. So we should give other countries and other citizens the right to decide who their leaders should be. And it's unfortunate that we'll be doing such a thing. It's unfortunate that on the show too, we say that people will make a laughing stock out of Liberians. Why would you make a laughing stock out of Liberians when Liberian people spoke? They decided who they want. That's the interesting thing about democracy. Sometimes you hit and sometimes you miss.
Okay. All right. Let me go. I come in. Hold on 1 second, Pat George. Let me go to the honorable. Hold on. You'll do it professionally. Let me go to the honorable to respond to this. I mean, it's late. It's late. We want a solution here, not just to create. Honorable, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So with this here, and again, that's what I like about you. I don't care how we sound, sometimes horrible or terrible. Yeah, you always answer our call. Unlike other people, they don't show out because they don't want to be asked tough questions. So that you get a good credit for that. You get a good credit. Now, it seems to me there's a great deal of lesson now being learned from like the reference of Papa, Mount Gibby. We saw what happened in Maryland. Here we are in Grand Judea. We are not praying for any of these sort of things to go on, but the propensity is there because this country, the young generation, the way things are going, are we going to see moving forward? Are we going to see a new approach from the first branch of government to take into serious concern? Okay, I know community policing is good, but you know my own born town there is right to the border. God forbid if there was an incursion from the Ivory Coast side, where anything can happen. Is that motorbike? Is that one patrol car from Zwedru before they come and bring people? All of that. Those are, so we are taking a holistic approach for the national security of the country. That comes first. Now, is your county has experienced this? Maybe you're saying it, our police station is down, and like I said, I don't know whether they have any other documents, whether computers and things there to store information, get a backup and things. So it means all the criminals, you can't even find anything, you can't trace anything now. Are we going to see a new approach moving forward nationally to take a review of the security apparatus in the country and to give them the power to? Because if they don't have the power and the capacity, it's like putting them in harm's way. Are we going to see a different approach by the first branch of government with the security apparatus? Honorable, are you there?
I hope so, because this situation has attracted a national attention, and it will be given a due attention. Let's look at how we can do things differently in the security sector. Though we want to strengthen the community structures, but notwithstanding, we have to also empower the police who are at their direct service so that we can proactively engage in a situation like this. But you know, those things that are vices in community, they are very contagious and they are fast spreading. Probably guys in Granger, although, but you know, the police station just point me and nothing came of it, so we can do similar thing. So what we're thinking now is, if such thing happen, we have to put our feet down. Those who are the perpetrators should be arrested and prosecuted. I think if we continue that persistently, there will be change in the behavior of society members. This is the important thing, because people must have attitudinal change to approach situation like this. We should engage it intelligently. Why would you want to run the police station? You know, that police station and the police. There's a project I personally supervised when I was in UNHCR as a protection assistant. See, and the one even in Pututam or Penok, those are projects supervised. Yes, they are impact projects to help the government. Now it is brand down. How? When are we going to see the repair of that structure? It's something that it's something that is not. It's not welcome. It's not welcome at all. And all of us should join forces in spite of the shortcoming we may have. Let's join forces to condemn the these things and talk to our young ones. Violence is not the best way forward. If you are violent, I mean, you don't really achieve these things. I was speaking to them on the radio this morning. I said, violence is not the problem in any way. Why? The case, if we have a situation, let's sit and talk about it. Without this, I mean, what? Okay, a better resolution. But to continue to be violent and to continue to attack infrastructure, it doesn't make sense. If you're vexed about one of your own that got killed, so what has it to do with motorbike that you're looting? It's to do with people offices that you are breaking into. These are preconceptions. Probably when they see these things and the bad guys among these other guys will try to influence the weaker ones, gentlemen will do also achieve with this. So we have to be persistent. We got to be sure how we talk to our young people to transform our society so that we adopt the civilized approach to dealing with conflicts. This is what I'm talking about. Coming to the issue of why the Senate elected Senator Hussein, well, he was elected by the people of Nima County, and if the colleagues found competencies in him, well, and so they elected him. If the American had a problem with it, my mind, there should have been a better way to do it than writing this public statement. I don't know what it really intend to achieve. If they think there is a need, there should be time for consultation, but that's a decision of the Senate. I'm not going to talk much about the Senate until January 2024, when I shall be inducted into the Senate, and of course, we can start talking senatorial talks.
Yeah, Jesse, great. Okay, I love that. Okay, so okay, quickly here, because I know it's late in Liberia, so we don't want to equally keep you that long. So what next now? What are the contingency plan by the leadership, by the authority from Grand that starting with the lawmakers? What are you guys? What is the strategy now that is in place?
Now I'm going to discuss our strategy on radio because they are secure that we can now uncover in the public that then the thief will be or the protester will be ahead of our plan. So it's better we keep it private and keep it. Situation unfolds, you get to see our strategy planning in dealing with the security situation. Let me worry about that.
All right. Are you guys going to Grand the caucus? Would they be going to Grand
Here trying to act like a chief.
This guy, he's just another distraction, complete distraction. So quickly here, are you guys heading to Grand to make your presence felt, to help to stabilize what ongoing now? Are you guys going to be going to Grand the lawmakers, the 5?
The local authority is there and we are in contact, but I'm not going to attempt to reveal any of our security plans on this network.
Is that yes or no to my question?
Well, the security strategy will unfold as the situation presented.
Don't you see the people going to see it like our lawmakers in time of crisis, the good one, they didn't show up for us? You don't think they're going to see that? They don't think they're going to see it as that way?
No, we think that the situation is under control. We trust our local leaders that are there. The acting superintendent Paul Neo and the superintendent himself is going on the ground, and they've been hearing us speaking on the radio. They know we are with them.
Okay. All right. Honorable, I know it's late now, but I really want to thank you so much. Let's keep having this conversation. If whatever the case, like you have done in the past, you can shoot out a message and we can also pass that. Is there anything specific you want to talk about before we let you go, or is there any message that you want to throw out there to misconception, misinformation, especially with your own base, the Grand community, the Chin, the Bazon, the Quenimbo, and the Liberian people in general? Is there anything specific you want to tell them before we leave?
Okay, I just think that the best thing we can do is we should try to maintain peace, security, and stability in our country. With this, we will be able to achieve our greater heights and grow as much as we would like and expand our opportunities to make life better.
Okay.
For now,
I want
to find out the sleep is taking over me gradually, and so
So is that Mr. Gorwin's Archie Zeto's question here or comment taking you sleep away? Let me read it, then we'll let you go. We don't want the honorable man to sleep. He said, Mr. So the funniest thing is that the caucus of Grand Jury are not friendly. They are not willing to support each other idea. I don't know.
It's not true.
Okay.
It's a false statement.
Okay. All right.
That is the opinion. It does not hold water in any way. If one or two persons have different, it doesn't mean the caucus is not holding. The caucus is an institution, and the four of us are holding. And I told you, Senator Marshall didn't resign from the caucus, so that doesn't mean the caucus is not holding. It's not a statement, please.
Okay. Okay, Honorable.
That's a perception.
All right. Okay, Honorable Grant, I want to thank you so much. I know it's late now. We'll let you go. Please keep us posted, and we hope and pray that you guys, our leaders, do everything possible. Because I check, I called him. The Honorable now called. He said, "Oh yeah, he called." In fact, this morning you were talking. They were playing the radio. So good that happened. Other than that, I'm going to call it out here as well. But I thank you so much for the hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
2 radio stations this morning. And so, just to encourage our people to speak to them, to refrain from violence, unless you make use of the rule of law.
Okay, man.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
And have a pleasant day. And I'm going to sleep now. Thank you so much to all of you for the exchange of ideas. I'm always available and accessible. Whenever you need me to answer a few questions, I can do that. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. 4 in the house. Let's see. Let a bamboo diva cola. I know they're going to be, I don't know where they're going to be a spray house. What is guy? Why he kept playing with this Walmart County here this evening? Something. Hello?
Yes. Yeah. What exactly you're after?
You're distracting her. What is Walmart County? Why you kept?
Why you scared? If you get broom in your house that you can fly from one city to another, then don't be afraid. They team for people who got a liquor broom that flying from city to city. This is what it's for.
This is the original one.
You
see the one here with this here? That one. Look. That one is on there where you even paying for it. Okay, let's get to the conversation here. Pa George.
Yeah.
Okay, the conversation with in and out now. I don't know the statements of the Americans today. First of all, let's look at this here. Something to let's start from the liberal viewpoint. The ascendancy of Senator Prince Johnson to a high-profile position in Senate is commensurate with that of what his name said, Warner Intelligence Committee in the Senate, and then you go to Adam Schiff from the lower house of government, and out of the sudden, we see the American coming up with that statement. Is that a fair statement to a sovereign nation?
Is that to me?
I'm asking. Yeah. Let me start with a liberal. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's fair. But here is what the professor missed the mark.
Missed where I missed the mark.
Oh my goodness! When Liberians are dying, they want American to come in. But when the American criticize, depends who's in power. They say this is a sovereign country. You got no business getting. Let's be serious, Professor. These people, and look, I feel bad for all of us. Like I said, the chicken is coming home to roost now, to be honest with you. Here's the reason. We brought this thing on ourselves. When the so-called new founding father, I consider them, from early group up to this point, that was a particular important time in Liberian history. Immediately after the interim government, we were expecting all of these so-called book people to have gone into this position, representatives, senators position, but all of them, they were after the presidencies because they think that's where they can make the most money. They're so greedy. Liberians were so greedy. Whether educated or not, we're so greedy, and we care less for one another. We care less for the country. So right now, Dr. Weah and his people in office, I don't care who comes tomorrow. This thing gonna repeat themselves. They are just as crook. They are just as corrupt as this government and the previous government. Nothing's gonna change in our country. When these people had the opportunity to actually immediately after the conference in Accra, the peace conference in Accra, these people had the opportunity to now start putting themselves into a position where they were going to be able to put structure in place. Madam Sally came in and people were hoping that she was going to bring in structure and what have you. It didn't happen. The young people that were also part of the war, they came in, wanted to be represented, they took the position. They have reached now because they've been paying themselves handsomely over the years. So dislodge these people now, they're going to be difficult. You think if you have people in the Senate who are much more of a Liberian, in other words, caring for the country and care for the people of Liberia, you think they will elect people like...
What could be the determining factor? What would be the determinants that you're going to use? Because these people, they claim to be a freedom fighter, they claim to be an advocate, they claim to be the people that was standing up, and here we are. So what sort of measure we're going to use this kind of
bag now? Mr. So the cat is out of the bag now.
Yeah, so I'm asking you, what could be the measurement tool, that we can even deploy or use now? Because we have had these experiences over and over.
No, Mr. So my argument is this: there are many Liberians that were not actually involved in the war that could come in and be a true country builder. They didn't do that. Every one of these people wanted to be president.
Mr.
They wanted to be president of the Liberia. So now this is a time now they're getting ready to cry. You got people who have already sitting in. They got a lot of money. You can't take them from any position because it's an elected position. So they spend the money and be re-elected. You don't have money. You don't have prestige. You have been away from the countries for so long. Now you want to go over there. They don't want to listen to you.
So quickly here, before the professor here, there was a point the professor put out here. Hey, this guy, he was elected by his colleagues. Equally how Donald Trump, whatever we like, he was elected. And one way. So the question now is the Americans went the jump too far to a sovereign nation? That's what I'm asking.
No, the Americans are speaking for us. Americans are telling these crook, these inept senators to say, don't put your fingers anymore in the eyes of the Liberian with pepper on it because it's hurting them more.
Okay, Professor, I see you smiling. Before I go to Emma Joy,
let me come in. I like to hear that. I mean, I'm not one of those people who is blown away by this whole concept of sovereignty. The United States will always play a very important role in Liberia. It has always played and will always play an important role in Liberia. We depend on the United States for a whole lot of things. And the relationship that Liberia has with the United States, I wish it will just grow and get better every time. But you see, it's very interesting. I wouldn't want those people who are now condemning Senator Johnson to speak for me. Because these are the very same people who were on the Senate floor of the United States government, or in the Senate floor of the United States Capitol, and saying, count me out. Count me out. Donald Trump, this was the end of the day when on January 6th, insurrectionists invaded the Capitol. But those are the very same people who could not convict Donald Trump. So, in as much as I respect the contribution of the United States government, I think, and I will always say, they don't have the moral authority to question what people do in their countries. They don't have the moral authority to do it. They don't have the legal framework to do it. I think it's an interference in another country's affairs, and it needs to stop. In as much as we respect their contribution to Liberia. Look, but you see, let's face the reality. When I hear a lot of people talk about educated people in Liberia are the cause of the problems we have in Liberia, they did not run for office. That's not totally true. Because I will give you the listing of many intellectuals who have, over the last 15 or 12 years, put their candidacy up for elected position, and they have not won. The political dynamics in Liberia has changed. When I was growing up, Mr. Liberal Progressive, I'm very positive. When you talk about Edward Berry and those times, so I know you are very open on Liberian politics. Do you think if they had a free and fair election with Tukbanan Tipute or G. Bacchus Matthew putting the name on the ballot, do you think that when the Truman Party would have stood any chance at that time? No, they wouldn't. But I tell you right now, if Tukbanan Tipute puts his name on the ballot to run to be senator for Grand Creek County, he might not win. Look, Alari Tukba put his name up. Community we said, Dusty Wolokoli, Eva Masabe, Sando Win, Fode Krumah, Kemi Weeks. I could go on and on and on and name a lot of intellectuals, people who you think were very qualified for those positions, who ran for those offices and they didn't win. The issue is not that people all were so consumed by the presidency. The problem is that the thing about it is our country has changed, and most of us have not caught up with the changes unfolding in our country, and so we're not able to connect with those people. And that's when it comes to what happened today, what happened in Grand Gide, the setting of the police headquarters at Blaze. You know, you can prevent those things not by having one police officer for one citizen. You can prevent it by educated people, intellectual, engaging the common people in the society, helping to train and mold the minds of young people to think about alternative ways of addressing the problem other than by using violence. And that's what we're not doing in our country. That's what we should be talking about. We should not be about government investing $3 million in the police. I will have a problem if the government took extra money to go and invest in the police when they have babies who are dying before they reach their first birthday because the hospital do not have the equipment, do not have the trained doctors. I want the money to be placed over there. I will have a problem if the government takes
So, Professor, don't you think it's a simultaneous process also to have the security apparatus?
The strength, our security can be stronger if we create the conditions for our people to live in decency. Look, when the TRC ran across Liberia, what the people told them was that create the enabling condition for us to live and prosper in our country. And you don't create an enabling situation for people to prosper and live in a country by having one police officer to a citizen at Mr.
But
George.
where you coming from? Where's this idea? One police officer to a citizen?
That's your idea. You said it's you.
What?
That's your idea.
That's not my idea because I'm red. That's why I read a come back. It's not my idea. It is what I failed to do and finding excuses. It's not my idea. I did not stay on this platform that.
But that's a suggestion.
No. My statement has that point. You can go right back. Hold on there. No, Professor, hold on there. You don't misquote me. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Let it tip. I did not say one citizen like that, one policeman. I did not.
What I can say.
I said I'm not charged. I mean, I charge you now. Let me pay my tax.
You go carry say you can't take away.
Yeah. So I did not say that, Professor. Let me just quote you there. It was not my statement. I said, hold on, Professor.
Yeah.
Just give a minute. You will come back. I just want to make that point clear. I did not say one citizen to one policeman. I said the police has been honor-funded. That's my statement. And if you take that statement to be that way, then you are interpreting it the wrong way. So continue.
Okay, let me finish. So here's your suggestion. Your suggestion is that if the police is fully funded, then the police headquarters will not be.
No, that's just one aspect. Police be funded. That's one aspect.
But Professor Zalo,
you need education.
Professor Zalo.
Yes, a police force. There's no tear gas.
Why should we have tear gas to be using on your citizens? Why you want that?
What are you talking about? You have a mob situation.
You think we live in
Germany? If they go and kill somebody, the police will stand aside and let the mob people. No, but that's what you're saying.
We need to find civilized ways.
What is the civilized way you talking about finding? What can you do with mob situation?
Not using
so you're saying that this is why you're saying that they should go and loot people's property because police not supposed to use tear gas to disperse crowd.
No,
because you want to commit the police.
So Professor, let me see here. So from what I'm hearing from you,
and I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, you're enjoying yourself because the professor, you came out with the professor, and the professor was able to heavily fire at you, and you went in your shed to the extent that you almost went in there when the professor began to count names. And Mr. Tor here, your brother here, came out and said, "Yeah,
that's my
the
son.
professor
that's my son.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
My son.
Okay, yeah, good that you establish identity. Mr. Toh came in and said, the professor made a great point. Nowadays, elections is not just won on an education basis, and that's a fact. Do you agree with the professor?
E2 graduate high school from Calcutta. That's why.
Oh my goodness. My goodness, yeah.
Look.
So, like, on a serious note,
let me just continue. I will come
on a serious note, Professor, I am not saying that we should have a military rise or police or army state, but for God's sake, it's a sovereign nation, it's a country by itself. Do you think in the whole Calcutta you have one police patrol car, or even two? Do you think is that? What is the essence of the police? Law and order, and there must be a good working relationship. So, are you taking us in this aspect that we must have good policing and community relationship? Is it that lacking, and that's why these things going on, or what?
I do not. I think in an ideal situation, the police must be fully funded. The police must be well trained to carry on its duty. But I do understand the competing priorities that this government and every other government in Israel, or Liberia, have to confront. We cannot ignore those objective factors. So what I'm saying, amidst the economic challenges that this government is faced with, we must find innovative ways of policing that is building relationships with our people in our communities, providing education on alternative ways of addressing grievances, and making our laws enforceable, not by using tear gas or arming the police, but just making sure.
But why the army was shooting today? Why there was a fire? Why the army came in? Saying that is not right. Why the army came in today in Zwedru? Why the army was in the street?
That's an extreme situation.
No, it's not true. It happened in Nimaka the other day. They had to send the army there again.
The army can have that, but the army has that ability, not the police. We don't want police having tear gas and guns all over the place. You don't see that happening here in the United States. Why do you want it like that?
Professor, where are you coming from? What part of the United States you live in? Because I live in Georgia. I know how the police respond to things here.
Yeah,
you living up on our coast, but I live in Georgia. I
don't see the police passing all around with guns in their hand. You don't see the police passing around with AK-47. They don't even use assault weapons.
Police carry police have murder weapons.
But we don't have that. We don't have that in the capital city yet.
Well, I know in Georgia, police carry murder weapons. They have tanks.
But let's forget about Georgia. We don't have that in the capital city yet.
Okay, I don't know about Maryland.
Mr. So, while we're going from Atlanta to Washington D.C. and everything, let me put ourselves back to town, please, if you don't mind. Look, Mr. So, on a very serious note, the idea of the educator or intellectual were willing to come in and try to take position to help, that's true. But for me, it was not from the beginning. They didn't come in from the beginning. I'm saying that immediately after the peace conference, the Accra peace conference, these people should have taken the position to say, I'm going to be and I will be. They didn't do that. When you watch the election, the 2005 election, how many presidential candidates do we have? And among the presidential candidates we have, how many PhD? Every one of these people want to be president. Must you be president in order for you to do what you have to do for your country? No, I say no. It's not necessary. That's the argument that I'm making. Now,
to suggest that if you had 22 political parties, let's assume, and you had 22 presidential candidates, and all 22 presidential candidates had PhDs, does that mean that those were the only 22 educated people in the country?
No, that's not the point. That's not the point. If you are going to be the president, in fact, why must you, as 22 presidential candidates, to do what? In a country of less than 3 million at a time.
But you're not
what?
Then you're not liberal progressive now. Then you're not being a liberal progressive anymore.
No.
On a democracy.
No. Now you're coming with your conservative that I'm going to respond to. No. This is the best liberal idea.
Yeah.
If you have the right. You have the right to say whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
But my point is, Liberia as a country coming from a civil war.
Yeah.
And every one of these people wanted to be president.
Yeah.
Knowing full well that if you are not successful, the other government or the other person who will be president will not bring you along. That's always been our politics. Now, why were you somebody, Sam Singh from Grand Gita with PhD? Why would I not go in the House of Representatives? Why should I allow a high school graduate to now be a representative? Now, if I was to challenge,
hold on, guys. Hold on now.
Challenge.
Let's do it one at a time. I know the liberal
if I was to challenge as a PhD candidate, if I was to challenge, perhaps if I'm successful, I will not bring in the idea that I have learned over the years that made me to be a PhD, whatever that I am. Then I can come in with the other people in the House of Representatives, not even senator, but now with our intellectual group in the House. Look how great! Look how lush Agara Graves. What exactly has this young man done for us since? Look, I can go on and name these people over and over. These people, not that they are not Liberian. But what are some of the things
hold on right there. Then the liberal, I think then the professor made an argument here. There were other people who more or less of a standard with hair on their shoulder. They went into the race. And what happens? The electorate rejected them.
They came in, first of all, they were broke. They didn't got money. When 2005, many of these people didn't have money either. But the young people, those that are represented today, your Tomo Faladen, your other people, they were insisting they would be represented. Now, after paying themselves 17,000 or whatever for all these years, they have a lot of money now. Yeah. You can't come in now with your PhD and say you're going to challenge these people. They can outspend you. Yeah. And the politics of Liberia does not depend, winning political office in Liberia does not depend on your mindset. It's with the cup of rice and who can pay the most.
And there are three things.
Let me just ask you, Mr. Two, all the argument you're making, aren't you from the Unity Party?
Liberty.
From the Liberty Party?
Yes.
What did you suggest to your chairman at the time to put Kennedy in those countries?
Oh boy, Ting Bamboo coming.
Mr. I don't want, you don't want to open a can of worms here.
No, I just asked you.
That's okay. If you listen to me, listen. Let me answer this. Let me answer this quickly. If you always, whenever I come out here to talk about Liberty Party, I say I am Liberty Party USA.
There you go.
But
okay,
I'm asking.
Now, listen now. During the 2000,
he is the fixer for the Liberty Party USA. Just
when we had Liberty Party had their convention in Lofa County, and they were supposed to use the city hall, but because of Dr. Bakai, who then undermined that, they kicked them out of the city hall, and I carried that live on LPR that night. But the point that I'm making is this: the Liberty Party USA. We were able to put ideas together, professionals. You got lawyers, engineers, everybody in your own field. You come as a group and write a paper. We put those together so that Liberty Party will be able to stack themselves in area, in some of these positions, so that like-minded will be able to lead the country. When they got to Liberia, when they went to the convention, that idea was never even brought on the floor. The leadership that left from here to go to the convention, they were not even given the chance to express themselves.
Now,
that's Liberty Party.
Hold on. Let me come back to you again. So it means that what you're saying here, your people in Monrovia rejected the idea from you people. Is that what you're saying?
I agree. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, now, but let me just come on something you continue to say. The politics in Liberia has changed. The dynamics has changed.
I agree.
So you cannot continue to sing this song. You have Alari Topa, Professor Alari Topa, I think, who have ran 2 times in Bapol County.
You can't win.
He can't win. That can you say he's not educated? From the time he be running up to this side?
No, he attached a hoax, say he broke, right? The liberal.
This man, highly educated, and one of the brightest sons from that area. But his own people have rejected him. You got Dr. Henry Topa from Bon County was elected by his people, highly educated. There are other people. Vani Sherman was elected by his people. He's highly educated. So we cannot tie down to that the people sat down, the educated people sat down and didn't want to do nothing. There is something that is taking place in Liberia. And every politician, those who want to be politicians, aspiring, what have you, they have to study it. And if you are not doing it, I don't care how much education you got, how much money you get, you will be turned down by the people. So I think those are the factors we start looking at. But the me is, let me go back to the U.S.
2023, Samson Toe. 2023, Samson Toe will be in Grand County.
You talk about from here, they went to Grand to run for senators. Did they win? Highly educated.
So I think this conversation needs to be brought to an end now, don't you think?
So Pajoy, wait a minute. Let me dump it on the liberal professor. Wait a minute. Samson Toe consistently in the habit of distancing himself when it goes bad in Liberia. I'm a Liberty Party USA. I'm a Liberty Party USA. But he has the ability. They are providing funds to the Liberty Party in Liberia. You just raised a question here of Prince Johnson. Yes, and I agree with that, Uncle Sam. But wait a minute. This is your same Steve Zago, right? Who failed to recognize Nyombli Kanga in the dime minute and resign as party chairman. This is the same Steve Zago again who was in the race to contest for this. A career security personnel, maybe we have gone on our defense intelligence to put all this to arrest. In the dime minute, he did what? He backed off. And that becomes I'm supposed to ask you, you are a Liberty Party man. Okay. I'm not a Liberty.
Because hold on, a criminal. Hold on there. From second to a criminal.
No. You see that? You see that? You see this is so now your friend Darius Dillon, Senator Dillon, I saw him throwing tantrum here, and I'm waiting now on Spoon TV this evening. I'm waiting what going to be the reaction, because these are the same people that have failed the system, and you are embedded, dining in bed with these people. And you are coming here to tell us because he does not want to be. So he doesn't. Hold on. So you are telling us. You mean the light? Hold on.
The internal light of the Senate has failed the system. You mean the queen of the Senate have failed the system? These are people that continue.
I said
the party. These are people that continue to brighten the light in the Senate, not the sedition and what have you. These are they're nothing. We're going nowhere with CDC.
So are you guys still going to is where it says Steve Zago is still going to be part of your process? He's still going to be a Liberty, having to resign on the eve of the
Liberty Party USA. I'm not Liberty Party Liberia. So I don't know about that.
You are a complete disgrace.
Okay.
You are a disgrace to politics in Liberia.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, but Mr. Toe, let me say again. You supported someone from there, how they educated went to Grand Jury, did not win that senatorial position. So don't your argument should not be based on education.
But by me supporting somebody who didn't win, it doesn't mean anything.
No,
of course it does.
No.
How is that?
First of all, you didn't even go with the president. You were talking about educated people. Okay. He's a trained engineer. Why you didn't go with him?
He didn't have to go. He didn't have to go.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Yeah. But let me talk about this Prince Johnson issue here, because it's dear to my heart. Prince Johnson, for me, it was the right decision, the statement that the United States government made. But let me go further than that. The Senate, the President pro tem, appoint people to these committees. Then they go and have the election to elect the chair. Prince Johnson has been very vocal in Liberia. Now, if he
So
doesn't,
why not put the number yet after you, Professor, so we can take few calls before we go?
He will bring war to Liberia. He's on tape. Last year, he did it again. It's on tape. So, if this man behaving like this, and you go and give him the position, is that rewarding a bad behavior? This is why, again, the Liberian Senate had done to the Liberian people. This is a staff in the back by the Liberian people of the Senate have done to us. The United States government issued a statement today. This assuming that if he's in the chair, they will not work with him. They will work with the Ministry of National Defense. This man, I can say it. You're a killer. I can say it free. Anytime I go to Liberia, I will say it again. You're a killer. This man slapped Walter Allison and told the soldier to move her away. He didn't want to see her. They took her away. That was the end of her. There are so many who can talk about him.
Yeah, but
and today, you gave him the time, you reward him. He is very defined. Yeah. He looking in the face of the Liberian people, say he did not kill anybody. Yeah. That's his statement. He did not kill anybody.
Mr. George.
But hold on, you were talking about, I didn't say a word, I'm listening to you. So, today, if people in Liberia, the Liberian Senate have rewarded him, have promoted him, and the myth that this man is seen in Liberia, because I'm not just speaking from today, I've been following this week, and it been on my mind, and I say, I will speak to Prince Johnson. If he listens, fine. If he doesn't, someone will tell him. Prince Johnson did not defend the people of Nima County. It's a complete lie. He did not defend the people of Nima County. Prince Johnson went into this war to enrich himself. And I will tell some people the reason why. Prince Johnson fought in Nima, he killed Nimalian. He broke away, came to Morovia, seized the enclave of the island. And that was he was based all throughout the war. And if he was based there, did not control Nima County, did not control Bom County, did not control Magiri. How can people tell me that this man defended the people of Nima County?
Okay,
how can they tell me?
Okay, let's have the professor to respond. Let the professor.
How the man defended Nima County that today the people are rewarding him as senator of Nima County and Kingmaker? There's a barely based on tribal ethnic line.
Okay, but that's the elections. But the elections there, the election they have in Nima County is supposed to be the Bians electing somebody from amongst them to lead them, right? And so obviously will always be on tribal or some kind of lines because
but they say he liberated them.
Yeah, but yes, the point. Another point is that you don't decide, and it's the same thing. That's the question I wanted to talk about. Liberal progressive. You don't decide for the people. The people have all rights to self-determination. They can choose who to support and who not to support. It's the same thing with liberal progressive. I wanted to comment on about people running for office and not running for office. Nobody has the right to restrict anyone's ambition. If you got 700 persons want to run to be president of the country, they have all rights to be president of the country. The third thing I wanted to come on is that, and people are going to get angry with me. So, Mr. So, get ready to get all the insults. Based on what I have seen the educated people do in the Senate, maybe that God bless our country. We don't have a lot of them in there. If I look at what the Ibn government did, maybe that God bless our country. We don't have a lot of PhD in the Senate and the House of Representatives.
But Ibn government, I was elected government, I one of the most criminal.
Was corrupt. But I'm just telling you. But I'm telling you, and then he had more PhDs in the government than any other government in the history of Liberia. So I'm telling you that those are the lessons, those are the writings on the wall that perhaps the Liberian people have. You see, people can overlook the Liberian electorates. And that's why you see, Mr. George, you said, I wanted to tell you, my grandmother will always, when you do something good, you say, come on my back. I wanted to tell you, I wanted to claim on your back when you were speaking. Because that's exactly what happened. The Liberian electorates have changed. People underestimate them. Think about them being illiterate. Those people have been reading the writings on the wall. The performance of educated people in government, in the House of Representatives, in the Senate has been dismal. And that is why, that might be one reason why when they run, they don't win.
Even if they are good.
Let's not ignore them. So we need to get together. Those of us who consider ourselves educated, we need to get together and start rethinking about what we are doing, how we do it. You understand it? The people are not fools. The people are seeing it.
Folks,
Mani Sharma is in the Senate. Now, you know the story?
Today, in the paper, they mentioned her name again. American mentioned her name.
You know the story? You got, I don't want to call names because I'm afraid I don't want to get in trouble, but you got a bunch of them who you look at to be the educated ones over there, and you know their history. So I think, God is blessing our country.
So, Pa George,
you don't elect them.
Professor.
Yeah.
Why are we aligning the liberal, Pa George? Why are we aligning, trying to have the liberal progressive to get away here? I'm waiting to see what his party will do. They are in a coalition.
Which party?
The Liberty Party, Steve Zako, who's supposed to stand up to Prince Johnson. I'm waiting. What would be the reactions of the Liberty Party? What are they now? This is an interesting thing. It's like a piece of cloth between the Caesar. Steve Zago from a strategic bloc demographic of the voting community. And I heard Senator Dillon was doing, yeah, own way you're going to sag him, you're going to do this. I'm waiting to see who's going to have that boss. But let's take the phone call here and I'm going to come to him. I will still ask the Liberty Party USA man. He claimed he labeled himself as the Liberty Party USA, but he does support and spend money there. I want to see what would be the action of Liberty Party, Steve Zago. Pakwame, good evening and welcome.
How are you, sir?
Good to have you here. Look, too much going on here, but I know you've been following the conversation. Liberty Party, Steve Zago, former chairman of a major opposition who's supposed to stand up to this guy, Prince Johnson. In the dying minute, he backed off. Convention time was coming. In the injury time, he resigned. So what sort of opposition is that? Where's the coordination here? What is the guarantee that these people, we can trust them with state power as well? They will be as like the CDC government. No big difference. Go ahead.
I think that's insulting now, Mr.
Thank you. I want to say hi to everybody. And I think the professor stressed a lot of good points tonight. First, I want to start with the security. You guys mentioned security. No amount of funding can make security function proper. Security has 3 full points. I consider it to be concrete because 4 things make concrete. The metals, the chalk, right, the sand, and the cement combined together make it concrete. If one is missing, then of course it's not a concrete. Security has intertwined with 3 different ministries: the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Defense, and the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So you have to reform the security. First of all, financial support alone will not work. Security needs to be mobile. Command structure needs to be restructured. For example, if something happened to Grand Gile or any part of southeastern part of Liberia, the central command posts have to be well equipped, communication-wise, mobile-wise, to respond. If those responses are not there, the money not going to replace any of those things. And the security will not function properly if these government executive branches are not reformed. They have to be reformed to meet the expectations of the country and the international community. So therefore, they can be able to enforce any other law that is in a book. So they are intertwined. So nothing can go without proper mechanisms in place. Okay, come to the governments of Liberia, or the educated and non-educated. Professor stressed my point. The Igbo government was one of the most educated governments in Liberia. Half of the minister was a doctorate degree holder. From the vice president to the Ministry of Defense, they were all doctorate degree holders. Dr. Amos Sawyer, Dr. Tipuna Tipotier, Dr. Bako Matthew, Dr. Cassidy, Dr. Peter Nanga. All these guys was doctors. They could not take Monrovia out of Monrovia. Their only task was to bring peace in Liberia. Only one mission
was to bring peace in Liberia. There was no accountability, nothing. But, you know, the way they functions, everybody saw the way they functions. So therefore, nobody had trust with these PAG people anymore. So, and to say...
So, Pakwame,
yes.
you mentioned something cardinal. Do you think that is a sort of a trail mark that is following everybody now, taking a retrospect, a flashback on these previous people? You know what? We had an experience with these people here, so we don't believe them. We don't trust them. So they have muddied the water now. Is that the case?
Yeah, but Joe, we have said it. So the both people feel Liberia.
Because Liberian politics has been controlled from outside for a very long time. Liberia have not really functions inside Liberia. So the one way or the other, they have to succumb to some international pressures, you know, coming from America or from elsewhere. So this time around, I think Liberian people want to be able to determine their own destinations. So this is what is taking place in Liberia. They are not considering the PSD. They've been around for a very long time, from 1960. They've been part of every trouble in Liberia. And to say someone was outside Liberia or inside Liberia was not part of the war, that statement I really don't support it. Anyone that was born before 1979 was part and parcel, directly or indirectly, of the Liberian crisis. Everybody was involved. Yeah, somehow.
Okay, quickly here, before I go back to my guest. The ascendancy of Senator Prince Johnson as a House or Senate Committee on Defense and Intelligence and all of that, like we are talking about Warner of West Virginia and Adam Schiff of the lower house here. Now, here we are, Uncle Sam coming up with this here. Is that an indicator or indications that this guy is gradually getting to his Waterloo, that they are gradually closing on him?
The reason the pressures has been mounted on Prince Johnson for so long and continue to increase, it is because of the American interest. The American interest is not about Prince Johnson committed crime, but the very American that Prince Johnson is suspected to kill, the Catholic
norms, those far Catholic norms, yeah.
Yeah, because the American has a secret commitment not to leave fellow American citizens behind. Once they find amicable solution to that or remedy to that, they will not mind to concentrate on Prince Johnson. America does not have a real deep interest in Liberia at this point. But because of that, the evangelical mobilizations in America to make the Liberia representative to continue to bring that story to them, this is why you see that pressure in Liberia or being mounted on Prince Johnson. But like the professor said, the American government or whatever representative that they may have has no moral, attitude to really prompt into Liberian politics, because we have seen everything in this country. We have seen all kinds of right wing, the left wing,
the Proud Boys.
Okay. And Prince Johnson was elected by the people of Liberia, especially from his own country. Whatever position that he's qualified to hold within the Liberia House, these are normal formalities. That has nothing to do with the individual himself. Okay, the senator, they can't put him out. He's part of the caucus there, especially from the country. So there is no way you can have Prince Johnson when he is eligible to certain position to have him ostracized because of his past. I don't understand that.
So okay. Can we make a guess here quickly here that the case, what happened to former President Taylor, because there's no provision that America can go in there directly to Prince Johnson out. Can we say they are probably, Uncle Sam, they are involved in a lot of things? Are they talking with people now where, as a second country, most likely when Prince Johnson visit, they say, hey, the guy is here. Like what they did to the Nigerian president, he said, you know what, you got to turn the guy over before we can even talk to you. And that was acting like he was crossing over to Chad, and that was do you think that's sort of a thing they are working towards now, quickly?
Well,
I don't know what
continue to mount. Definitely, Americans have a lot of weight, and they have a lot of power that is not limited to military might or diplomacy. They did it to Yugoslavia against
Milosevic. Right. Konstantin
Chinyanko. They stopped all aid from going to that part of the how you call it, man, the Balkan, until Milosevic can be turned over. Not only that, they also came together and stopped all the developmental projects that was about to take place until a certain military leader was being transferred to the hill.
Right.
One of them was Manetkiva. Yeah. Okay, they did it to
Antonio Noriega too as well.
Yeah, on the Philippines.
Manuel Noriega.
The country within America, so definitely they went into Panama and they had been arrested, brought him up to United States. I think he passed away in jail in Florida.
Right.
So they could do the same thing. Charles Taylor was not convicted because of the crime in Liberia.
Right.
The interest there is so deep, not many people know it. Charles Taylor has connections with Al-Qaeda terrorists, especially the business representative that was in charge of the diamond activity. Went to Liberia to bribe Charles Taylor to bring some of these people to deploy them in Liberia in various businesses. You see all the Lebanese businesses there, some of them have been sponsored by these guys. Their money go through this area. So he able to get started a certain amount of money to bring some of those guys to Liberia, and he was purchasing diamonds from Liberia to some other Jewish people in Europe, and the Americans noticed this. So their interest there was not Sierra Leone, was not Liberia. They had deeper interest, and they able to accomplish that.
Okay. All right. Kwame, thank you so much for your expertise. Okay. Gentlemen. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah. So
everybody's up except the Liberal Progressive. Look like he was.
Yeah, we are. He took out his glasses. He need to put out his glasses because the man is a complete disgrace. So what's gonna happen now? I listened to Senator Dillon this evening on Spawn TV. They're gonna do I don't know what sort of section they're gonna be called. Can that be revoked or what?
Yes. They can move him.
Under what law now? Show me the law that they can move him.
If there is a foul crime that this man being there, it will harm the country. The Senate can resent that decision. We saw it.
Talking about resent the decision. No, you were talking, Joy. Okay, then this is where I've been having the issue. The inability of these people to work, to be able to navigate. First of all, how long? This thing is not an overnight thing since the vacuum. All right. So what was their own or inside work, knowing fully well that if Prince Johnson has expressed a desire, right, knowing fully well, and they have one of their own, Steve Zacko, who was going there, who has an extensive background in security. So what were their own work with their other colleagues? This is the lack of coordination among themselves. So I don't know what's going to happen at this time.
Let me say this. You know, all these things when they're going into this committee to vote, there are a whole lot of things that take place behind closed doors.
Like what?
People offer people money, promise something that they will do for you, leadership and things, and these things happen. So if people are not careful, this is why you see last minute sometimes people will join from contesting the kind of position, which is very detrimental to the country.
Like the case of Senator Zago.
That's what I'm saying, but because of people's pocket. Maybe somebody offering something. Say,
who you think? Who that could be, you think?
No. Let me be very honest here. I do not want to, I can't call anybody name. But
they want CDC here now inside they want
no, I can't. No, listen. I cannot say CDC. If I say so, then I will be making a very wrong guess or statement. But these things happen. Somebody will say, hey, my man, back up, we'll give you this thing. Don't do it. Because if you go, this man will not have the time or the chance to win, but back up. So when the person back up, this is what happened. But what I'm saying is the people should look at a bigger picture. Recently, you saw Prince Johnson, how we have been going after him. Now you want to take, and this man's statement alone, statement that Prince Johnson had made, you go and make him national chairman for defense with all the kind of statement that he had made in the past, just recently last year. Now, people are saying America got no moral ground, no legal ground. But when you're receiving all the money from them, you don't talk about they got no legal ground. You don't say they got no moral grounds. When your people begging to come and meet with officials, you don't say they have no moral ground. They should not do it. You don't say that.
Okay.
When it comes to a decision that the query on that you're doing the wrong thing, then you say, oh, they have no legal standing.
Okay.
Let me just say that I'm above the close because I got to leave to go somewhere. But let me just say this. This Prince Johnson issue, it will haunt the Liberian Senate again. And that one of the wrong mistake the president pretend and all those involved made about putting this man at that position. National security advice on defense is wrong. And I think they better go back and start dreaming to see what they can do for the interest of Liberia.
Okay, but let Professor respond before you go.
By the way, I tell you one thing, Mr. George, partly I agree with you. I think the decision was ill-advised. I think it will serve our country very well if Senator Johnson will do the right thing and resign from the position. But I will blame not Senator Johnson for this situation. I will blame his colleagues on both sides of the aisles.
That's why I said the leadership.
They know the situation. They should have preempted the response, and they should have not taken these steps that they take. Prince Johnson will still be in the Senate and be the most powerful man on the Defense and Intelligence Committee.
So why did the opposition even come out yesterday until the American came out today?
That's what I'm saying. But
the election was there yesterday. They knew the result.
You see, Mr. So, that's why I tell you about Liberian politicians. You know, for example, the Liberty Party was coming to put her in a big mess, and Liberian people listen to them. Then the other guy, Harrison Conway, will have been president of our country now. And you heard what I said, right? Harrison Conway would have been president of our country right now. And you can just expect what would have happened then. But look, our politicians, a lot of these guys in the opposition, they are driven by their belly. And it's a showmanship. It's not about the Liberian people. So the response to what somebody from this side will say to them, and then they are driven by it. Look, but some of us, I respect the United States. I'm grateful to the people of the United States, but we would stand on the side of what is right. If you can elect Donald Trump, if you elect Donald Trump, and you allow us to respect him for 6 years, if the Republican caucus cannot remove Marjorie Taylor Greene from your state, if they cannot remove her,
they took off the chairmanship. They took off the chairmanship.
Who took her out of it?
They took her off that committee. She's no more. She's not on that committee.
Who took her off?
Yeah, she's. I believe. Yeah, she's out. I think she's off. I think the poll.
She's not on that committee.
Who took her off? Who took her off? The Republicans?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
She's not on that committee. She got no more power on the committee.
You see, look, when people what about the other guy? Mike Gates. Who is taking these teenage girls and taking them all across federal lines and having some of them?
Listen, he's on an investigation.
But
okay,
he has a right to say that. He has a right to say that until that investigation is completed. If they don't want to move in, when that investigation is completed, they will take the decision.
The same situation of Senator Johnson. He has not been convicted of any crime. And now I support him. But he has not been convicted of any crime yet. You understand? And his people voted for him.
Okay.
You're making. I am not saying that the people of Nima Kande or Prince doesn't have the right to represent the people of Nima Kande. No. He was elected.
We're not hearing you. Okay, quickly, guys. I know, Pa George, we're not hearing you. Your audio, Mr. Joy.
That man shaking the cow tail. He's the one doing that to Mr. George.
Mr. Joy, we're not hearing you. Let me see. I know. Okay, let me see.
Leave the man in that mode.
Are you there?
He keep being that mode. Then he keep talking like that.
Mr. Joy, we are not getting you. Oh my goodness.
You just see this finally.
Okay, let me get him off because I'm not sure what.
I don't want messing in audio. I'll keep messing on until he decides to join us.
Okay, well, I think are you serious? Pa Joy still talking. Oh my goodness. Look, folks, we gotta cut it night. We gotta cut it night here. Let me see. Pa Joy. Okay, let me get him. Let me just get him all here because it's just no point. Okay, guys, we gotta go. Hey, Professor.
Yeah.
This is a wondering question. I just need maybe one sentence. Probably will go. The government delegation being in the U.S. pretty close to a week. What's going on? Do you know what they are here for?
I don't know where that delegation yet. Is there a delegation yet? I really don't know.
Are you aware of the Minister of State, Finance?
No, not to my knowledge. Not to my. Actually, honestly, on a very, to be very honest with you, I have no knowledge about
Professor Ase Se Lagbo Zaulo. Are you not aware
I just
of the
want to say thank you, Professor. I will remember.
Samson, close you up. We're not hearing you.
The son of Nema Kande. I cannot correct the people of Nema Kande for electing him. But what I'm contending with is he being chairman on armed, on national defense in Liberia. The security of our state has been undermined of this man's character. And I will stand by it today and tomorrow.
All right.
Good night to all of you. When you coming back for the Liberal?
The Liberal can't talk. He's Zago Paul Gary in a sense, so he can't talk.
Liberal is a strong man. He can.
Before you leave,
George,
Mr. George,
Professor said he doesn't know that the government delegation in town.
I finally go ahead.
But you saying something?
Yeah, no, Professor said he's unaware of any government official team in town.
I'm not getting the question.
Okay. Good night. I think that you're not looking good with you. Bye. All right. Okay. Yeah, Liberal, go ahead before we go.
No, I was going to say we finally, Mr. George and Mr. Professor, we finally got our hand on the Doe community video that our guys did, and I will be doing that. One of the things, just the little picture, 4 or 5 pictures that I looked at, the road seemed to be durable. I'm not too sure because it was built in the rain, So one of the just by looking at the pictures, it dawned on me that before during the opening, Dr. Weir stated to the people of Doe community that they should take care of the facility. Apparently, they're not doing so. If you watch that video, it'll bring tears to your eyes because the people are truly abusing that role. And exactly what Dr. Weir was talking about, of not trying to make this place into a garage. I think it's more than a garage at this time. But one of the interesting things that I found also, and I will bring that up, it's unbelievable. You have a light pole in the middle of the street.
Why?
When I saw it, I couldn't believe it until I saw paving all around it, and it's in the middle of the street, not in the sidewalk, in the middle of the street.
Why?
I don't know. But I when I read to discuss it, I hope you guys can look at it.
I know we have to leave, but Liberal Progressive. On a serious note, that's one of the scary things about our country, and this goes across political parties or political lines. The fact that people in government can see professionals in the diaspora as a threat and not as an asset is a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they be consulting with experts in those areas who are outside? People like you, I'm sure if they call you, you will offer your expertise free of charge. It's the same thing in the area of education. I offer myself. They don't want to deal with us. And that's sad. That's sad. I just saw.
They continue to make these mistakes.
Are you losing patience with your government?
No, it's not. It is not just for this government issue. You see, the government.
No, but the government has here. They should be able to go out there to find the expertise. They are in charge. No other person going to do that. And potentially, it's the executive branch of government. Hey, we have one Samson who is an engineer. We have one professor there who can come and maybe manage maybe the Morovia Consolidated School System, the educational program. But that is not happening.
And I don't think the Liberal Progressive wants to go to Liberia to go and manage. I don't think I want to necessarily go to Liberia. It's not necessarily the case. You don't have to go. You can be right here and stay help. You can go home from time to time and help. That's what I'm talking about. And that's not a government thing. It's individuals who are heading these agencies and who are creating the roadblocks. They don't want to utilize,
Who is monitoring? Who is the monitor of those roadblocks?
I know somebody should monitor it. And and that's the sad thing.
Who's that person should be?
The president and his people should be monitoring them.
Are they monitoring it?
I think they are doing a good job. I'll tell you one thing. There was something that happened in Liberia this week. And I know we come here, we talk politics, we didn't talk about some of those things. The government of Liberia last year issued a calendar events for the schools in Liberia. We received the calendar, and based on the calendar, we designed our school structure. On Monday, they had the county education authorities going from one school to another school in Kakata area and shutting them down, forcibly and threatening people to fine them $250,000. Now, somewhere, 6 months after the government issued its calendar events, the government decided to change the schedule and say, look, students must have a 1-month vacation, but never sent any kind of paper communication to the schools. Interesting, right? And here's the thing: some of us were very, 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 very appreciative when the government of Liberia, for the first time in their history, issued a detailed calendar for the school year. That was the first time they've done it, and we praised them. But then only for them to come down the road and abuse the good thing they've done was amazing. But then it comes back to, not tapping into the expertise you have around you to help you.
Is that a current government you are referring to?
The president, Ministry of Education. Yeah. It's not tapping into your expertise of the people around you. That's what happens to these things. It's the same thing progressive talking about building a light pole in the center of the road. Somebody might have thought that's a good reason because maybe they want to give people
more lights. Put a light pole in the middle of the road and get more
issues associated with that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. That's sad.
All right. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. And to our men and viewers and listeners, followers, thank you so much for your time. Lpr, what's your final word before we go?
I'm hoping to do my final approach on Friday with my own project. Then either tomorrow or Friday. Then Saturday, I will come up with the Doe Community Project and go through, because it's they sent us close to 10 videos. And each of the video had almost 5 to 6 minutes or longer, and they did an extensive work by videotaping all of the broken sidewall, all of the good things that an engineer will look for when they're trying to design something. So I'm very proud of what the kind of work Mike Dunn has done, and we'll try to dissect that video and try to put them together for our audience to view with us as we critique some of these things. But I can also come out though, because if they do a good job and it shows, because I was one of those that were criticizing the process. You will see me eating crow here on Saturday. If you
need to start eating crow of Steve Zagona, and I will keep pushing this here, and you try to avoid it because you just don't have the vision.
Thank you for the show, Mr. So. Good night to you. We appreciate you very much.
All right, Professor. So when you get a little detail of the delegations, just by chance, please let us know.
I will definitely.
Okay, folks. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant evening. Okay, well, folks, that does it this evening. To our men and viewers, listeners, thank you for your time. Let's do the quick rendezvous of some of the news making headlines across the continent. Ethiopia delays polls against amid security of a logistic challenge in their elections. Ivory Coast Prime Minister Patrick Achid is in hospital in France. Mali to form a new broad-based transitional government. 30 sentenced to death over anti-police clashes in DR Congo. And guess what? There was a major donor conference just held in France. It ended today. And France has canceled Sudan's $5 billion debt. While Liberia didn't go there to go lobby. These are international donor conferences. That's what Helen Johnson used to do. You don't have to be. It can be any of these Commonwealth nations. Go there, send your foreign minister. But we have a delegation here and we just don't know. I want my country to get money. Go out there and find people, but go where you can be able to get people. So now Sudan got a jackpot there. You know what it means to cancel a 5 billion debt cancellation by France? That's huge. And France, Africa France summit in Paris, I just ended up with world leaders. And what they are doing, they are trying to help African countries for post-war, post-COVID. And I'm not sure, Liberia was in attendance. I don't know why. I don't know why there was no delegation there. Probably, I think it would have been more profitable for this delegation that have come here to have gone to this sort of summit and say, hey, some of our debt, we all need to give us some money. We're carrying on national reconstruction, our hospitals, our roads, and all of that. 5 billion? That's huge. Cancellation, gone free, you know. But I hopefully our folks are going to be out there. There are a lot of conferences always ongoing. You don't necessarily need to have an invitation. Go and make representations. That's what I call lobbying. You go there to lobby and meet people and tell them the plight of your country, then explain to your country or your government's agenda. That's what should be the focus. Unfortunately, not much of it is happening. I'm not saying it is not happening, but these are major donor conferences that took place. So these things, circulation goes out. They should have been there to be on top of it to catch the thing and send. The president don't necessarily have to go. You send a special envoy. It can be the minister of finance. It can be the governance of the national bank and all of that. You can send those people and they can go, or the minister of foreign affairs, who happen to be the doyen of the cabinet, go there and proxy the affair. That's what the late Samuel Doe did when they brought Ambassador T. Honest Eastmont. What happens? Liberia benefited. You have to get a career to a diplomat, not just only diplomat, respected diplomat. And I could be wrong, but we have talked to a lot of people. There are a lot of things that are hindering to what is hope ongoing. The Charles Bright, the Emmanuel Shaw, all of these people as economic and policy advisor to the president, it raises concern. These people have character issue. There are a lot of things being labeled on them. They are yet to adequately address them. And so having these people around your corridor embedded with you is huge, because these major donors, they look at your surrounding. You could be a good person, but who knows? I'm not sure whether they are even coming forth. They are all looking out there to help the government. So it's like, I'm just afraid that the president is raising some unknown alligators around him, because Charles Bright, we know all of these people, their involvement. We know Emmanuel Shaw. So why these people are still around the president? Why are they? There are a lot of information out there yet to be explained. And those are good arguable points that any business or any donors will have apprehension that whatever they gave, it might or potentially land in the wrong hands. And that could be the problem. You have to put out the best, people who can navigate, people who can break the wall of Jericho, people who are convincing, who have the ability to convince. But when you have people being with suspected or tainted character, that itself kills the purpose of the discussion that we're going to be having. And they can even travel. I don't know why. We don't see them frequently. They should be out there to lobby for the government. That's not happening. And that's a serious concern. And it appears nobody is willing to address that. So we are raising some unknown alligators right before our feet. And by the time those alligators are full grown, where they can be able to go straight to our hair, we will be done and it will be late. Well, folks, I want to thank you so much for sharing your evenings with us here. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Until then, have a pleasant evening and be safe.